long week, ain't got enough sleep, starting to feel a little crazy. I need a release, pour me a strong drink, ready to turn it up, baby. 'Cause after the work is done, Fridays are made for fun, hey, hey. And I ain't the only one who knows how to roll and get down. Where's my squad? Yeah, I know who to call on. Good feels could never do no wrong. And it doesn't matter where we go, that's just the way we flow. Ain't no worrying, ain't no drama, we just over here having a good time. We bout this celebration life. Ain't no party like the one we started. Ain't no petty little shh gon' kill our vibe. We bout this celebration life. Celebrate, celebrate, don't hate on celebration. Celebrate, celebrate, don't hate on celebration. Got my head big, flexing my new fit, feeling like I'm on a runway. I came and checked in, the spot is popping, and yeah, I really like this DJ. And after the setting sun, the nights are designed for fun, hey, hey. And I ain't the only one who's out on the floor getting down. Here's my squad rolling deep like a flash mob. Good feels could never do no wrong. And it doesn't matter where we go, that's just the way we flow. Ain't no worrying, ain't no drama, we just over here having a good time. We bout this celebration life. Ain't no party like the one we started. Ain't no petty little shh gon' kill our vibe. We bout this celebration life. Celebrate, celebrate, don't hate on celebration. Don't hate. Celebrate, celebrate, don't hate on celebration. If only for tonight, we're out enjoying life. You can like it and love us, join in if you wanna come. Ain't no worrying, ain't no drama, we just over here having a good time. We bout this celebration life. Ain't no party like the one we started. Ain't no petty little shh gon' kill our vibe. We bout this celebration life. Celebrate, celebrate, don't hate on celebration. Celebrate, celebrate, don't hate on celebration. Don't hate, celebrate, celebrate, celebration life. It's been a long week, ain't got enough sleep, starting to feel a little crazy. I need a release, pour me a strong drink, ready to turn it up, baby. 'Cause after the work is done, Fridays are made for fun, hey, hey. And I ain't the only one who knows how to roll and get down. Where's my squad? Yeah, I know who to call on. Good feels could never do no wrong. And it doesn't matter where we go, that's just the way we flow. Ain't no worrying, ain't no drama, we just over here having a good time. We bout this celebration life. Ain't no party like the one we started. Ain't no petty little shh gon' kill our vibe. We bout this celebration life. Celebrate, celebrate, don't hate on celebration. Celebrate, celebrate, don't hate on celebration. Got my head big, flexing my new fit, feeling like I'm on a runway. I came and checked in, the spot is popping, and yeah, I really like this DJ. And after the setting sun, the nights are designed for fun, hey, hey. And I ain't the only one who's out on the floor getting down. Here's my squad rolling deep like a flash mob. Good feels could never do no wrong. And it doesn't matter where we go, that's just the way we flow. Ain't no worrying, ain't no drama, we just over here having a good time. We bout this celebration life. Ain't no party like the one we started. Ain't no petty little shh gon' kill our vibe. We bout this celebration life. Celebrate, celebrate. Don't hate on celebration. Don't hate. Celebrate, celebrate. Don't hate on celebration. If only for tonight, we're out enjoying life. You can like it and love us. Join in if you wanna come. Ain't no worrying, ain't no drama. We just over here having a good time. We bout this celebration life. Ain't no party like the one we started. Ain't no petty little shh gon' kill our vibe. We bout this celebration life. Celebrate, celebrate. Don't hate on celebration. Celebrate, celebrate. Don't hate on celebration. Don't hate. Celebrate, celebrate. Celebration life. It's been a long week, ain't got enough sleep, starting to feel a little crazy. I need a release, pour me a strong drink, ready to turn it up, baby. 'Cause after the work is done, Fridays are made for fun, hey, hey. And I ain't the only one who knows how to roll and get down. Where's my squad? Yeah, I know who to call on. Good feels could never do no wrong. And it doesn't matter where we go, that's just the way we flow. Ain't no worrying, ain't no drama. We just over here having a good time. We bout this celebration life. Ain't no party like the one we started. Ain't no petty little shh gon' kill our vibe. We bout this celebration life. Celebrate, celebrate. Don't hate on celebration. Celebrate, celebrate. Don't hate on celebration. Got my head dipped, that's in my new fit. Feeling like I'm on a runway. I came and checked in, the spot is popping. And yeah, I really like this DJ. And after the setting sun, the nights are designed for fun, hey, hey. And I ain't the only one who's out on the floor getting down. Here's my squad rolling deep like a flash mob. Good feels could never do no wrong. And it doesn't matter where we go, that's just the way we flow. Ain't no worrying, ain't no drama. We just over here having a good time. We bout this celebration life. Ain't no party like the one we started. Ain't no petty little shh gon' kill our vibe. We bout this celebration life. Celebrate, celebrate. Don't hate on celebration. Don't hate. Celebrate, celebrate. Don't hate on celebration. If only for tonight, we're out enjoying life. You can like it and love us. Join in if you wanna come. Ain't no worrying, ain't no drama. We just over here having a good time. We bout this celebration life. Ain't no party like the one we started. Ain't no petty little shh gon' kill our vibe. We bout this celebration life. Celebrate, celebrate. Don't hate on celebration. Celebrate, celebrate. Don't hate on celebration. Don't hate. Celebrate, celebrate. Celebration life.
Hello, hello, hello. Happy Friday. Let me get down and make sure we are coming over loud and clear. Hello,
Thank TGI.
Man, did y'all like that music, that beginning? Let's get into this music. No drama. Just, it's Friday. Get your glass. You know, we might have a couple of jokes, but no drama. No drama. I got my beer right here.
I know you have someone bringing you a beer. I know.
I already had half of it gone. Hello, ladies. Let's see who is in the comments. Let's see. Let's do the sound and audio check. Are you guys hearing us well? Are you seeing us okay? We are using some new equipment tonight, so we want to make sure we are not talking literally to ourselves. So make sure you're doing the thing. Okay, Stacey. Okay.
Hi, Stacey.
Thank you. Danelle, thank you so much. Dawn, thank you so much. Patricia, hello. So you are getting some feedback. Dang it. All right, let's see. Is there feedback coming in for everyone, or is that Geneva is getting the brunt of it? The reason being, I'm using two computers, so I might have to put one away if that's the case. Just let us know if there's feedback.
My mic, let's see.
TGIF. Listen, it's been a rough week, but it is Friday. It's a long weekend for most, you know. We're supposed to be doing our service on Monday for MLK. But it's a long weekend. No feedback. Okay, thank you so much, Glennis. I really like that. But some people, it's a little echo in the back, and Karen is not as clear as your picture. Huh. Okay, let's see what is happening. Okay, it's clear for me. So it might be some people are just getting the great one, and some people are not. But if it starts to get really bad, let us know. I can switch out my audio if that's the case. Okay, so just let us know. Feedback is on Karen's side.
I have nothing on.
Are you using your microphone?
I just muted myself. So can you?
All right, she's clear now, but the echo is still there. Okay. All right, let's go through. You may have to turn the mic off on one of the devices. Yeah, let's see. I mean, all mics are off, but let me see. I might have to come closer and turn one of the other things off. So let's see if that works. It's just easier sometimes to have another laptop, you know, doing all of this extraness. Got it. Okay. I don't hear any echo. Okay. The queen gets the good light. Girl, you know, gotta work that lighting on. If you're not working lighting on video, who knows, you know? All right, Karen, let's see if this works. I am turning off completely one of my sections. Okay. And so we will see if that works. 1 second, guys. Give us 2 seconds. I'm going to remove this person. Okay, that should be better now.
I hear it.
It's good now. It's good now. Okay, thank you. Loving the blouses. Thank you. This was actually one of the blouses Karen sent in the first unbox battle that she happened to win.
Wait, let's go there.
I know what happened after that.
That one was a landslide. I won that one. Yeah, I set the standard on that one. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, so we are here. Let's jump into this. Let's get what we're here for. And so I'm going to be reading and doing comments. So if y'all have some stuff to say, let us know. We are appreciative that you guys are here on a Friday night at 9:30. We know this live is pretty late. We were supposed to have a Thrifting Divas Knowledge Series segment at 8 to end at 9:15. So that's why it's so late. But My guest got sick, so we are here. But it's Friday. Most of us don't have nothing to do anyway. It's COVID still. COVID is still.
This is an event. Like I was so excited to get dressed up.
Yes.
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 I still put on perfume too before I come on live. I still get dolled up. Hey, you never know.
So we are here tonight to talk about Casper and his friends, the ghosts. Now, let me tell you what we won't be talking about. So we're going to set the expectations so everyone understands what we won't be talking about. This is not about a seller's best practices, how to sell on lives. We are solely talking about the ghosting on here because we have enough information for a 1 hour show so what we will do if we start to see that there's need for other pieces and segments, we will do segments like that. But we didn't want to put everything in one segment and just have you kind of flustered. We want to talk about one segment and then we will expand throughout the year on different things that we believe might be helpful.
Yeah, so, those hot topics that keep coming up.
Yes.
And ghosting is a topic that has been on the top of everyone's mind. And I think, there's some things that sellers need to do to make sure that it doesn't happen.
Exactly.
That's what we're going to talk about tonight. Okay.
So if you're new, and for some people who just happened, like, what is going on? And live came on. I thought they were selling some stuff.
I see some emails in the chat.
Folks are like, oh, another live. Let's get this. But we're not selling anything tonight. We are not giving that knowledge and giving some feedback. And we want to hear from you in the comments. So if you have questions in the comment, drop it in the comments. If you have, statements. What we don't want to do, I saw some people in the beginning talk about, well, what if we see the ghosts in here?
No.
We're not calling out ghosts tonight. Maybe when the ghosts understand where we're coming from, they won't do it again. So this could be a segment that also helps in curtailing those types of behavior. But we're not shaming anyone. So if you are in here and you've ghosted before, you should still feel safe to be in here. But now you're going to hear why it's not acceptable. But we are going to really be talking to the sellers tonight. I'm not here to call folks out. We're talking to the sellers of how you can deal with this and not raise your blood pressure. Okay, I know some of y'all, it hurts. It
hurts. And you know what? Believe it or not, both of us, when we've done lives before, we've been ghosted.
Yeah, I mean, crazy.
It is. It's just a part of the industry that we're in. It's just one of those pain points that we deal with. But there are ways that you can manage your ghosters.
And we are about to come in there for you. Okay, so if you're new to our platform, if you have not been in our amazing Thrifting Divas and amazing Thrifting Atlanta platform, let's introduce ourselves so that everyone is on the same page. And so, Karen, I'm going to turn it over to you to just what's your credentials? Why are you...
My credentials?
Yes. Why are you considered someone who has the right to talk about Casper and his friends? Why? Talk to the people.
So thank you, Ayana. My name is Karen Duclos-Sell, and I am the founder of the amazing group called Thrifting Atlanta. We have been in existence since 2011. So for 9 years, I've been building the community, and it has grown tremendously over those years. And I want to say thank you to all of my members who are so active in the group. They refer their friends, they participate in events. Because of you, we make this group a success. Now, as far as my credentials, as Ayana says, we started the live sales back in, I think, like the end of March. And I want to give a shout out to Talia. Talia was actually my very first seller during the pandemic, I called her. I said, Taya, do you want to give this a shot? And she's always such a great trooper, and she agreed to do it. And here we are today because she gave it a shot. It went well, and it's really been a really, really great thing that we started. Now, since March to present, I usually have about like 30 lives a week. I just kind of did the calculation. I do about 30 lives a week. I have a great team that mans the lives. They, send out the spreadsheets. They help me with the schedule. So I'm not doing this by myself. I do have a team. I want to give them a shout out as well. Lashana Harris, Francine Rain, and Anika McCarthy. Those are my team of admins that help me out with the live. So I really want to give them a shout out. So if you do 30 lives a week times how many months, I've watched a lot of lives. So I've seen some that are amazing. I've seen some that make me cringe. And I've seen some that if they do a little tweaking, they would be just as amazing as the others. Awesome. So as far as like assisting sellers, hundreds of sellers that we've assisted. So I think because of that, do you agree, Ayana? I have some say so. Some say in lives, right?
Exactly.
What about you, ma'am?
So Ayana Peterson, Thrifting Diva. I started the Thrifting Divas platform in April of 2014. I was out in San Diego and said, you know what? I want people to not be ashamed, to celebrate and to literally rejoice when they find amazing secondhand fashion. And so I started Thrifting Divas back then, and it's been so, this is my community. This is my passion. This is my, oh my goodness, what is going on in there? And when I started, had nothing to do with lies. It literally had to do with seeing the amazing, gorgeous, creative, beautiful women that are out there who love secondhand fashion. Yeah. And just like Corinne said, but during the pandemic, we started with purging our closets. Mm-hmm. And then Corinne called me up and she said, listen.
I said, girl, let me
open up the lives. And
she resisted. I don't want to sell. That's not what the platform is for. I don't want to sell.
No. And I probably buy just as much. I am a serial buyer. We're not going to talk about that. But on my platform, unfortunately, I don't have a team, but I don't have as many lives as Corinne because it's just me. So every single live I view until Miss Retta started helping me out. She's like, girl, and Miss Retta, will contact me. She's like, hey, I have some time. Do you want me to help you with a live or two? And so she helps me recently, but in general, it's just me. So I've been watching this, and I too have seen the ghosting. Somebody said the ghosting is an epidemic. Yeah. She said,
we have a cure. We have
a cure. We have some cures.
And a plan.
We've been taking notes, and let me explain. We too understand and feel bad about it. Corinne and I do have, and we'll talk about this. We see how to address it a little differently, but in general, we absolutely understand that you are frustrated. But we want to talk tonight of how we can help you not be frustrated and still be able to do this, love doing it, continue to do lives, whether it's on our platforms, on your own platform, on other platforms, wherever you want to do lives, and spread that passion for resale fashion that you have to others and not be discouraged by Casper and his friends. Okay. So we are going to, let's see. Thrifting Community is alive and well.
Yes. Let's put this on the big screen.
not right. Come on.
It's like I wonder how come it has not been picked up.
Yeah, it will in God's timing.
In God's timing. That's
in God's timing.
When
He knows. Stacy, this is not the time to find out. I have literally tons of emails that come in right now. When is March opening up? We will talk about that at the end of this show, so stick around. Okay, so Karen, let's jump into our agenda here tonight. Let's jump right in. And as we said, the topic of today's segment is ghosting. For there are still people who don't know what ghosting is, and we make fun of it. We have started, Casper. But what exactly is ghosting?
Yeah, if they can type in the comments, if you're a seller, if you can type in the comments what
you've been ghosted.
If you've been ghosted, you can tell us how it felt.
Don't put the person's name.
Don't put names. Just tell us how it felt. And then what is your definition of ghosting? What is your, how do you define ghosting? How do you define it?
Yeah.
Because I think some people,
thank you,
have their own definition, which is fine, but we want you to know how we.
Danelle said, "Oh, they know who they are." They don't have to put names. All right, so let's see what people are saying.
Let's see.
And Neat Cirque, I'm sorry if I butchered that name, but when someone say they want something and then they don't want to pay when it's time. Okay. Jacqueline, ghosting - customer shift. I'm not sure. Okay. Robin, when you send the buyer their invoice, they view it and don't pay. Okay. Keep moving. Okay, that's a response to that. Ghosting, when a guest does not pay their invoice after many tries via email and Facebook searches, they have disappeared.
I like that definition.
Thank you, Stacy. And ghosting, someone who purchased an item and did not pay or communicate.
Well, they haven't. Technically, they haven't purchased. They've claimed it. They claimed the item, yeah, because they haven't purchased it until they paid the invoice.
And Taya,
people know PayPal. Yep, that's right.
Right.
PayPal tells you the time they viewed it down to like the millisecond that they viewed it.
Diana says that ghosting, someone that ignores the invoices and doesn't communicate with the seller at all. That's Casper. Casper and his friendly folks have come up
with the definition right there.
And then Natalie says it pisses me off because of how much time I put into getting the invoices together. When you are sent an invoice, we see they viewed it but don't pay or communicate. Okay. All right. So go ahead, Karen. What is the definition of ghosting?
Yes. So many of you that Ayana highlighted have your definition, and it's pretty clear. It is a buyer who viewed your live. You send them an invoice. They have viewed the invoice, but they have not communicated to you to let you know if they want to. Of course, if they want to proceed, they're going to pay it. But the ghost is the person that does not communicate at all. They just ignore the invoice. So again, it's that buyer gets that invoice, views it, but does not give you any response. They do not give you any response. So there's no communication at all.
Got it. Now, the term in our platform, we actually coined that term on a live we were doing. Yeah. And right. So I remembered it more as, when you are dating someone or you're talking to someone and all of a sudden, no communication, just one day, they just poof. You start thinking, was this person ever here?
Right.
So, did this happen? Like you start, you got all your mental stuff going on. That's the ghosting in this platform. So for those who, you won't find this definition related to the thrifting community outside. I've had people ask, like, I've looked this up. I don't know. No, we just made this up. Okay.
We're going to add it. I do want to add another specific to it. And I guess we'll talk about this later, but as the seller, you should kind of exhaust a few ways to try and contact that person before you give them that term that they're a ghost.
Right. And we're going to talk about that because I think some of the sellers jump the ghost. You know, they call you Casper very quickly. So let's go down there and see what are things that sellers you can do, as I said, so not to raise your blood pressure and not stress about this, because trust me, it's not worth it. It's so not worth it. So we're going to talk about that. As I said, if you look this up, you won't find this ghost definition related to this type of industry here. So, not yet. But that's what we're talking for. There are a lot of people who come in and who are probably new to this still. Ghosting is what Karen said. You bid on something and you get an invoice, you view it, and then you decide that, you're not going to talk or communicate with the seller. So let's the perfect ghost. What does that look like? A ghost situation.
Ayana, you're good at that.
Let's look that up. Okay. So, and I think I tried to put it out in the stories as I was laying out the promotion for this event tonight. For a lot of people, the ghosts are not people who go in and bid once, right? And let me know in the comments if you find that your ghosts normally have multiple items that they've bid on. And it's not just a onesie. Let me know in the comments if that is what you find to be the normal when it comes to a ghost, that they do have multiple or large orders. So while on a live, this person, of all the times have the fastest internet.
They always have the fast internet, right?
Always. They're not the ones who could just be the ones behind, like me bidding for next week's live because my internet sucks here. But they go in and they see everything. Their eyes light up. They are like, oh my God, that's gorgeous. Sold 100. Oh my goodness. Sold 230. Oh, sold 630. And they're racking it up. The problem too is that other people wanted, like the people like me who is sold 100, I'm 7 minutes behind. Sold 260, 4 minutes behind. And I end up being in the second in line or third in line or just never in line. And this person gets all these items, right? And they put in their email address. So they're doing everything that they need to do. They put in the email address, ding, 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 ding.
We're like, getting some new clothes.
And then they leave the live. The live ends. Everyone goes back to their respective internet world. And that's it. And then the seller gets the invoice, or they see the Loyal Shops printout for most. And then they look at the name and they're like, wow, Ayana, you got 17 items.
Is this a true story?
I'm not a ghost. But you got 17 items and you are like, yes, this is good. I could move out a big stack and bundle. Right? The seller puts together the invoice, sends it out, and they wait and they wait and they wait. And then they see that little PayPal and they see that you viewed it. Ayana has viewed it. And they're like, yes, I should be getting my coins any minute.
Any minutes.
And they wait. And they wait. And they wait. And now they have gone on and they've started doing the invoicing for others. They've started sending out stuff and they continue to wait because Ayana wanted 17 of my items. She bid. No one held a gun to her head. She put her numbers in. She literally waited and waited and then put the numbers in for the items she wanted. And then you hear nothing from them. So let me know if that is what your experience has been when we talk about Casper and his people. Okay?
Yeah. And it really isn't for a seller when you get your printouts and you're like, whoa, I did really good.
Yeah.
Like it's high. You hit your goal. You like, I sold everything I needed to sell. And it really is a disappointing feeling when Casper refuses to acknowledge this invoice.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So
very disappointing. So let's talk about how
most people are. I hate the person that shops and wins multiple items and doesn't leave an email address, and then you see them shopping on another live within minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. I had a situation recently where I went and I viewed the invoice. I wanted to have some items taken off. I responded by sending to have the items taken off, but think I responded to the wrong email. My invoice was deleted, but I got it fixed. So we're going to talk about that. That's a great segue. So let's start going through what it is that sellers need to start doing. And we know for a fact that not all the sellers are doing it the right way. So if you're in this group and if you look back at what you've been doing and you're like, I could do it a little better or different, then this is a perfect time to start saying, well, let's see if this will work differently. We do have some stuff for those who do it absolutely perfect and still get ghosts. We'll talk about that. But let's talk about what it is that sellers need to start doing. So, Karen, I'm going to kick it off with you. Let's talk, because Gwynnie brought it up. Invoicing.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
So, just like someone mentioned in the comments, that you sometimes see a buyer, they've shopped with you. And like I said, I have 30 lives in a week. And Ayana has a lot in a week as well. And there are tons of other groups selling. So these shoppers, we love shopping. They're jumping around from live to live, right? Shopping with different sellers. So when you're sending an invoice, and when we're talking about invoicing, we are referring to PayPal, because that is one of the preferred methods of getting payment is through PayPal. When you're sending an invoice, do you include in the terms and conditions, or even in the notes, are you including your name? Are you including the platform that's sold from? Are you including the date and the time? Are you including those identifiers so when the buyer gets that invoice, it will jog their memory so they know who it's coming from, right? Is the name or your business that you announced during your live, is that the email address or the name that's on that invoice?
I'm shaking my head very well.
Even when I have sellers that book a live with me, they will book a live under one name and their Facebook name is a whole different name. Right. So we want to make sure things are consistent. We want to make sure the buyer is knowledgeable and they understand who this invoice is coming from. So make sure your name, the platform that you're on, the date, and the time.
Right.
Also, make sure you're including a phone number or an email. It's really not easy. When you get a PayPal invoice, you cannot just reply back to the PayPal invoice. You have to actually open another email to send correspondence. Okay? Also, make sure that you are listing the items that that person has claimed with the item number and a description. Okay? I get a ton of invoices and I'm like, what is this? Who is this from? Right? So I see it. Ayana and I, we see this. So if you're sending out invoices like that where the buyer doesn't have an idea of who this person is, they may think it's a scam. Right? And that could be potentially a reason why your invoices are not, are not being paid.
I would say also, Karen, I've gotten invoices where they've just sent me the item number.
Yeah.
Listen, when I finish a live, I don't even remember at the live. And you're going to send me an invoice 24 hours later and say item 24.
Yes.
Only because I have a reputation to protect, I would pay most of it without okay. But I see it. And
yeah, it happens.
No way. You understand that there are tons of platforms out there that are running lives and people are shopping everywhere.
every day. There's probably a live going on now.
Right. So when you send your invoice with half the information and you're mad that they didn't pay you right away, you really have to start taking this more serious on yourself and say, okay, I'm not going to give you an excuse to ghost me. You have all this information in here. But I think what Karen said even more is the live, the date, and the platform is it's so important because it will jog my memory. Oh, I remember. I was on Thrifting Atlanta when I saw that shirt. Okay. Yes, let me pay for that. Or I remember her voice and I remember that young lady. She seems so nice. And, I don't want to hurt her business at all. Don't give them an excuse to ghost you. And I'm not saying this because it's a onesie, twosies. This is on an average how most invoices go out. They are not invoices that if I were to look at it, I would understand where, who, and how. So...
And also it's important during your live, if you know that, the name of your business is Beautiful Vintage Pieces and your email address is Jane Doe.
It won't,
How is the buyer going to know that this is the invoice that they are expecting? So, take some time. If that's not what you're doing now, implement this
immediately.
Your invoice, into your invoice. And then for those that use like Cash App and other systems, the Cash App, I don't even know
how.
Yeah, because your Cash App name might be different. You just have to figure out a way to make sure that the buyer knows it's a legitimate invoice. You can't expect them to, get all these invoices and immediately know. Right. Now, what you can do during your lives, I know there is, and I'm going to shout out Stacy. Stacy sends her shoppers like a little notepad and encourages them to use the notepad during the live. Her notepad indicates like item number, description, and price. So they can keep notes as they are watching the lives. So maybe that's something you can tell your shoppers, take notes, try and remember what you have bid on. Because they do not remember. You cannot expect them to remember. Right. Like Ayana said, when I'm on a live shopping, by the end of the live, I don't even remember. So I know it's good stuff, but it's really hard to remember. So try that.
So we talk about invoices, and now the second one that we want to impress upon you is that you can talk about your policies for ghosting before you start the live, right? So that 15-minute that I am anal retentive about my sellers getting on that live in 15 minutes. Use it wisely. Use that time to educate the people there. Use that time to implore their good humanity at that time. Use that time to, explain maybe a little bit about, your policies about ghosting and that you will work with them. If, explain certain things. Some people, I don't think you want to talk about ghosting like in a negative, mean way. But it's just a policy. You don't have to come in there and be ratchet. I don't expect that you would come up in there and be like, especially if you see one of the ghosts.
And I've seen a seller that saw a ghost in their live. And I'm like, I hope that ghost has ran away because I see you. You know who I was like, ooh.
Yeah, you don't have to go down that way.
But you don't need to do that.
But you can lay out the policy of what it is. You can say, hey, especially if you've developed a policy where you will not send. I've seen sellers, some good sellers. Tamara is one of them who does it, where when you start, she'll say, hey, if you've ghosted me in the past, please understand. Welcome. You can enjoy, you can window shop, but please understand that you will not be receiving an invoice. 2-3 people drop off. I mean, whatever. But it's a policy that she is setting clear now. It may not work for that invoice period, right? Because the person might still ghost in that live. But it will work in creating a deterrence of people doing that, especially if they like the items that the seller has to offer. If they know that the policy for that seller is, if you've ghosted me once, you're completely now not allowed to get items. So, putting that out in the beginning, in that 15 minutes time period that we have on our platforms to get you more acquainted with the people watching, is a really, really important and easy way of letting people know that, one, you're aware of the ghosting situation, but two, you are proactive as to what you will be doing about that situation. And I would say that 15 minutes, and then I would say drop it a couple of, strategic times during the live, because people come in later on into the live. So your first 15 minutes, you're getting to know your crowd, you're talking. And then, at around the 30-minute mark, you go back in and you say, hey, just in case you joined us late, just, to comment, you give some rules again. And then you also put that portion back in that, please understand that if you've ghosted me in the past, I appreciate you coming to window shop today. However, I will not be sending you an invoice.
And someone in the comments mentioned about your tone when you're talking about it. Make sure, especially for someone that's coming on for the first time, you don't want to have a very, it is a negative subject, but try to spin it a bit so it doesn't sound, too negative. But just make sure you're aware of your tone, because you don't want that first time customer to be like, ooh, this person kind of angry. So just make sure you definitely address it at the beginning. As Ayana said, address it throughout the live.
Yes.
And even before your live ends, just another reminder. But yeah, this is definitely some great techniques. And I'm seeing some really great points coming through. Some people are sharing there.
Dawn is just letting us know she's.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Dawn. Yeah. I mentioned that too in the comments. Yeah.
So now we talked about what you could do before. Karen, can you talk to them about some of the opportunities? I would say 90% of the sellers are missing an opportunity at the end of lives. And can you explain what you mean? What that means?
So we know that lives are typically, you have an hour to do your live. And I know that you want to meet your sales goal. You want to show all of your items, to the last millisecond. But think about it. During the live, your shoppers are shopping. They may want to change their mind about an item, but you've ended the live without enough time for them to pass on an item, right? So what I would suggest, maybe the last 5 or 10 minutes of your live, give them an opportunity to pass on their items. This is also a time for you to maybe even look through your comments. Maybe a customer had a question about an item. Maybe they have won the item, but they realize, oh my God, I want to know what size that item is, because I may not want it, or I need to get the price of the item. So if you take some time before your live ends, 5 to 10 minutes before your live ends, kind of look through your questions, remind your shoppers, hey, this is a great opportunity for you to pass on your item, because if you pass on the item now while the live is live, the virtual assistant will pick up that you've passed on an item. We hear it so many times from buyers that we've had to contact because they were referred to us as a ghoster. And they're like, oh, I thought I passed on the item. They're typically passing on the item after you have stopped the live. They're passing after the live ends. By the time you have shut down the live, we are sending you your spreadsheet. So the virtual assistant cannot capture that pass. So again, just take a few minutes. I know you want to get all your items in, but I think this is one way to help you prevent ghosters. You're giving your shoppers some time to pass on items. You're giving time to answer questions that you may have missed during your live. Customers may have questions. Use that time. Use that time wisely.
And the passing is, you know, sometimes you have to remind people, right?
Mm-hmm.
As I said, when you go through a 1 hour live, I have definitely forgotten, like, oh yeah, I got 2 other items throughout the live, and now I don't really need that first item that I got at the first 5 seconds. So I want to pass, and that is a nice jog of the memory and reminder, like, hey, this is a great time to go ahead and pass. Now, somebody asked about the serial passes. No, there's no such thing as a serial pass, because if you're picking up an item and you don't want it anymore, the virtual assistant will allow the second in line to get it right there. So let them pass 1,000 times. Who cares? If somebody didn't want it in the first place, whether they passed on it or didn't buy it, it's the same thing, especially if someone else did not, if they were the only person that wanted that item. So give them the opportunity, make sure you are reminding them and tell them, welcome it, tell them, listen, this is the best opportunity for us to be always on a really pleasant relationship. Pass now.
Pass now.
What we end up seeing is people trying to get that last second of item in. And I'm just like, so you end the live at 8 o'clock, or most of the time for me, 8 o'clock. And all they said was, okay, bye.
Bye.
I'm like, look, this is your opportunity.
I have 1 minute. Let me get that one. Let me get that one item in.
No. Use that opportunity to bring the crowd back to your policies. You know, if you have groups that you want to market to them, if you want them to go to your Facebook page, if you want them to go to your website, this is a beautiful opportunity for, especially when they're like, great show, the high is there. Yeah. And just, you know, leave them with that humanity again, that if they think of if they think of ghosting you, they're like, you know, she was really nice. You know, I don't want to do this to her. I'm gonna pay for it. Listen, it's all psychology and shopping. We all know that, right? So let us know if you in the audience are someone who have taken the opportunity in the last 5 to 10 minutes of your lives to really go over your policies, to really go over, you know, who you are as the buyer, the seller, or do you use your time up until the last second before the end of the 1 hour live?
Save the best for last. Ask the buyer. I so hate I can't click on these comments.
I know. We will figure it out.
It's a nice bow on the show's ending. Yes. Yes. Definitely.
The problem I have is when the systems say you didn't win, then you check your email, you see an invoice, and this has happened to me twice. Okay, so that is if you came in second. Teresa, I want to know, is that because you came in second or third in line? Because the seller should be letting you know that, you know, you're not first in line. And so maybe that's a great point. Like, are sellers using those people as ghosts, right?
Yes, I will say that. I did have someone, when they let me know who were their serial ghosters, and they listed a person that was second, because I do look at the list. If you tell me someone is a ghoster, I'm going to look at the list. And I'm like, well, this person is second. No, they didn't win the item. They did not win the item. So you cannot call that person a ghoster. They have every right to ignore that invoice. They didn't win.
Right. So maybe that might be one of the issues that we are having, that you guys are sending it out to the second and third
and not telling them.
And not telling them. Like, you have to let them know that the first person passed on the item or whatever the issue is, and the item is, if they would like it, it's theirs. And then at that point, you know, it's up to you and them to get that in. But the second and third person cannot be considered a ghost. It's only the initial person is ghost who gets the first item. Okay, so let me know in the comments if that is pretty clear and that we are all moving forward on the same understanding of what the the second and third person, what their I'm losing I feel like I'm getting sick actually. But anyway, my voice just started going, like literally going. So
you need some book, please, ma'am. Yes. Yeah. Whenever I feel it, yes.
So we talked about what you do we talked about invoicing. We talked about what you do in the beginning of the live. We talked about what you should be doing in the last 15 minutes of, minutes of your live.
Don, what are you talking about? No, Karen Charles is a nope, not the way to look at it.
All right. Explain. And then
thanks.
And then let's talk now about contacting bidders. So now you have sent out the invoice. Karen, why don't you walk through how sellers could do better in avoiding some of these ghosts?
Mm-hmm. And just a reminder, sometimes with PayPal, because I know this happens to me, I may get an email about the invoice. Sometimes is when I log into my PayPal, I may see it. Sometimes it goes to spam. So again, don't automatically just, they haven't seen it, they haven't paid. Don't think of it like that, right? Make sure you do a reminder. Take that extra step. Send a reminder to that buyer. Mm-hmm. You could also, if the reminder comes and they still have not paid, you can send them a message through their Facebook Messenger. You can also, with PayPal, create a link for that invoice. And you can include that link in that Facebook Messenger. And with Facebook Messenger, you can tell when someone has seen your post. So, and in my group, I'm really working on being more consistent with it, but I put a list of the winners and I tag the seller on that list. And the seller has an opportunity. If you have a buyer who has not responded to your invoice, who has not contacted you at all, you can tag them and say, hey, I sent you an invoice, check your email. That's another reminder in a public forum, right? So these are some additional ways that you can do some due diligence and try to contact your buyer. Keep in mind, there's a lot going on. People have lives, they're working, families, things are going on. So don't think that they are just genuinely ignoring your comments. I'm not commenting, your invoice, right? They probably have seen it and they made a mental note. Okay, as soon as I, get home and I get settled in, I'm going to pay this invoice. Things happen. Give them some time. I know you want your coins immediately, but give them some time before you assign them the title of
Casper
or the ghost.
Another thing that you can do is also in the live where you hear that, right?
Yeah.
It better not be COVID.
Girl, don't call that. In the name of Jesus. No, ma'am. We are not claiming that.
But another thing that you can do is in the live itself, when people have won items, you can just go under and just reply and it tags them right there under the item they actually won. It takes a little more time. You don't have to do all of these things. It's just a couple of different things that you can do depending on how bad you want to get this person to, hey, remember. But you could go into the live. All the lives are always saved. People always they think that the lives go away after it is. If you go on the Thrifting Diva page, you can always find the lives, your live. It's all there. And you can just go into the live itself, and where you saw that person won the item, you just reply and say, hey, looking for you. I've sent you an email and your invoice. Please let me know. Please handle that, whatever you want to say.
Something too. Also keep in mind, sometimes people may put the wrong email, or maybe you made a mistake with an email. So trying a second way to contact that person, you'll be surprised at the response that you may get. Oh my God, I just had to take my daughter to the doctor. I missed the opportunity to pay you. Thank you so much for
Absolutely.
contacting me. You know, that shows that you care about your customer. So
Absolutely.
don't automatically just assume that they are ignoring you.
Now I'm going to jump back to Brittany Gable says, but if a second or third person bid on an item, aren't they looking to purchase? They are, but in this system, most people, because they are looking for the initial invoice within 24 hours, because you could be sending the second and third later down. They didn't see their name. Sometimes it doesn't show you the third person. So don't just assume because somebody's second and third that they are automatically the winner. And therefore, if they don't respond to your emails or not checking for your emails, because I honestly don't check for anything if I'm second and third. Literally, I'm like, unless I really, really want something and I'm about to beg somebody to make it happen, I don't. I'm not looking for second and third. I'm looking for you want it then and there. Okay, so we won't label people who are in the second and third order of effects as ghosters. Okay. All right.
Jonathan asks, what if they view an invoice and during mine and still they don't pay?
Well, we'll talk about that. Yes, we will get there. So that is exactly, we're going down the list of how we can get them. So just to reiterate, proper invoicing, address it at the beginning, your policy on ghosting in the beginning, and save a couple of minutes at the end to address your policies. It doesn't have to only be your ghosting policies, but you know, your marketing policies, your promotional policies, when you're going to go live again, all these things could be done. And then you include, hey, and if you've bid on items tonight and you've ghosted me in the past, please understand I will not be sending you an invoice. Just very nice. Business-like.
And just make sure you let them know to what email to expect this invoice to come from. Right. And your business name and all of that good stuff. A lot of what we're referring to tonight is mostly about PayPal, because with the Cash App, that's a whole different.
Right. I can't.
Yeah.
We can.
So this is mainly PayPal.
Right. And then we talked about contacting bidders. And then the next one is, I think, as a lot of you guys start becoming really savvy business owners and resellers, then it is time to pay for a system that allows you to ban ghosts. So, Karen, can you talk a little bit about that, what we mean, without going too deep in the word?
Yeah. So there are, as you know, there are different systems to capture your sales. Some are a little more sophisticated than others, but there is one that would allow you to go in and actually block those persons that have ghosted you in the past. They would still be able to watch your live in Windows Shop. I love that. They can still watch it in Windows Shop, but they will not get the item into their cart. So this is one of the systems that actually sends the cart that they shop, all the items that they've shopped for, it'll send it to their Facebook Messenger. So if you block that person from shopping, again, they can watch the live as many times as they want and bid. But guess what? They're not going to get. That'll show them. Trust me, they will contact you.
That is so cool.
Blah, 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 blah. Now, if you're using the typical virtual assistant and you're doing a live on your own page, you can ban a person from your page. So that way they can never come and participate in your events on your page. You can also, if you have an assistant or a friend that can man your comments during your live, and they see a person, maybe you give them a list. Hey, this is my list. If you see them, you can ban them from the stream. You can mute them. You can mute them from your live stream. So that way, again, they can window shop, but guess what? They're not going to be able to comment or anything. So those are a few more sophisticated ways that you're able to really get at them. And I bet they will send you a message. Hey, I tried to put on, and you can let them know.
Right.
Love
I think
it.
just as you know, leveling up your tools as you're making more money. Invest in these tools that saves you all the headache, the drama, and the blood pressure, and pay for the extra tools. So we know what comment sold, reply sold. There's probably others out there, but those are the ones that we've been using on our platforms. Will give you such you don't have to bother about those ghosters. You just let them stay in the window shopping lane. Okay, now Miss Retta talked, I'm going back really quickly. Miss Retta talked about for second and third winners of an item, I let them know in the invoice that the winner passed and they were next in line. And she gives a discount on the shipping. I mean, what a beautiful way for that person who may have been on the line after to be like, oh yeah, I'll take it. I wanted it in the first place. I didn't win it, but yeah. And so, the comments, there are a lot of sellers in here who have been doing this for a very long time and they understand the name of the game. So even if you're unable to get some of it answered from me and Karen tonight, definitely look through the comments. And as I said, the video is up all the time, so you can always go through it.
Can I address something? With the other systems, there are some that do take a portion of your sales, but if it's providing you with such a great service, I think that it's worth the investment. Just price your items so that way it can cover those additional costs that may come out. We can't always expect things to be at a particular price point or free, right? If you're going to level up on your business, there are some things called business costs that you have to pay for if you want to have a really efficient business. So there are some things you just may have to take an extra cut if you want to be able. Just imagine if every time you did a live, you didn't have to worry about
a ghost.
Yeah, and you're taking care of that. I would pay for that. You know what I mean? That's something that I would definitely want to invest in. It saves time. Time is money.
It's all the time. Warren Buffett tells you that every day. I read his stuff. Okay, so now let's go to the part where you've done all of this and you're in the comments saying like, listen, Ayana, Karen, girl, I ran these people down. I knocked at their house. I left a message in their garage. I sent their baby a gift. Everything. Still getting these ghosts. So what do we do? Do you do everything by the book and we still have ghosts? So what do we do there?
So one of the things I suggest when you do get your spreadsheet, look at your orders. If you see there's a person that has a large order, I would definitely invoice them first. Let's go ahead and get that big order out first, because some of those items may have a second and third person. So if you get that order out of the way, sometimes, as we said before, people are shopping. They see their internet is going and they don't realize how many items they have won. So if you send that invoice, they may contact you and say, hey, can I take off, X, Y, and Z, right? So definitely do this today. Invoice persons that have really large orders. Get them out of the way.
And while we're talking about invoicing, I know this shouldn't have to be said, but we're going to just put that out there. How soon after a live should one be invoicing? Let me know in the comments. What do you guys think?
The rule of thumb.
Maybe we're not all on the same page.
Yeah.
And this live will get us all on the same page. And now we're going to have no issues. But how soon after a live, let me know in the comments, are you sending out an invoice? And you can be transparent. We're not, this is not the principal's office. But how soon after a live? So let's see what it's doing, what's coming in. Joy says, Taya says, Tia, I'm sorry if I'm saying it wrong. Yeah, doesn't it sound like I'm getting sick? Okay, sorry. Okay, Tia says, I do it immediately. ASAP. Victoria, I stay up late to do it after my show 99% of the time. I try to invoice immediately so I don't forget. within 24 hours as soon as possible. Okay, so we have somebody here, no later than 48 hours, but right away, people know they bought something. So Leela, the thing is, they know they bought something where? Where? This is the internet. They're shopping everywhere. I mean, I've seen people leave. I mean, I've done it too. So that's why I see like, oh, she was just bidding.
How about they have one live on one phone, on one platform, the second phone, another platform, and then the
computer on a different live. Yeah, people are shopping. People are shopping. Thanks, Carla. You're not getting. Yeah,
we're not. Yeah,
something is going on. Let me drink the beer. My mother doesn't come on these things.
April said, drink some water. I need to get some.
Thanks, April. It is feeling better.
I take a, Aliska says she takes a 25-minute break and then she gets started.
Right.
I think as soon as possible, 24 hours, 48 hours max.
48 hours, you're 48 hours, you're gonna get a ghost. Casper is coming. I'm just saying, Casper is coming at 48 hours. Casper is sitting there like, okay, I'm gonna redivert these funds to a different live.
To a different live, yeah. So get it out as soon as possible. Oh, something I forgot about your invoice. Make sure you put a deadline. When should this be paid? What is the deadline? When do you want your invoice paid? You have to put that on there.
Right. Put the time. Yeah.
Put the time within 24 hours. Tuesday at 2:00. Give them a deadline and let them know if you don't pay by this time,
you will be canceling. Yeah. So going back to the section of Karen said invoice large orders first. Then the other thing we will be talking is you've done everything you could do, and it is what it is. What you should do is let's celebrate the people who, somebody said it, a serial payer. Let's celebrate those guys. Let's make that a public post, because I see many times after a live, people will send a post saying thank you, and then they will identify the people who they're still waiting for. But I barely, and they give these these welcome, thank you, ladies, I had a good time, blah, blah, blah. But I would literally tag the good, tag the people and celebrate the people who are, pushing through. They get their invoice, they pay on time. Give them that recognition instead of, I know everyone sends out the thank you, but you could say thank you and I'm gonna tag you. So you definitely see this post. And more importantly, that ghost sitting up in the platform sees it like, right?
It's the wall of shame.
Yeah, celebrate the good, because you're always, bill pay, credit companies and people who are looking for people to pay credit cards. There are always going to be people out there that don't pay their bills. That's just a fact of life. We are probably never going to go down to 0%. We can get close, but we won't go to 0. But give the celebration to the people who are doing it right by you, and literally tag them. Thank you, Ayana, for shopping my live and paying your bill on time. I would be like, whoop, whoop. So I would say, because at the end of the day, these are people who are coming. They're going to be repeat buyers, and we tend to focus on the negative ones, on the ghosts, and let's not give those ghosters energy, right? Let's give.
That's the thing. Yeah. Sometimes, we get those messages about, I had these 2 people that ghost. And sometimes I'm like, how many people paid? You didn't say, hey, I had a great show. Everyone paid. It's the first thing. Oh, I had 2 people that ghosted. How many paid? Let's talk about that. How many took the time and did what they were supposed to do? So let's think about that. Let's think about the shoppers that value your time, love your product, appreciate you, respect your hustle, and they paid. Let's celebrate. Let's celebrate those persons. And the good, you know, they'll be like, I want to be a part of that group.
Right. Because you get, you know, people start to flock towards that positivity. And when people start seeing that things are happening in a positive way, I think it's going to, you know, for the ghoster out there who did it on a maliciously, there's some who are malicious, and then there are definitely some who really forgot and really just, you know, spaced out or really just did not do it. So, you know, let us, even if you did everything right and you still have a ghost, you know, take that energy, that frustration, and let's move it towards the positive portion, and which is 90% of the platform. Let's be real. 90% of the platforms are doing the right thing. Okay. The other one we want to say is, are you moving immediately to the next in line? Like, how long? I mean, I've seen people reach out to me about ghosting, and I've asked, you know, did you ever try to contact the next in line? And they said no. That's one way of you know, Miss Retta just talked about. She said, I reach out to the second, third. I even offer a shipping discount. I mean, it is more work, and it's really if you want to do it. But a lot of times, the second and third in these things really do want the items, and they're like, "Damn, thank you for reaching out to me." So I would say in the comments, let me know if you, as a buyer in the second or third lane, have ever gotten a lot of the sellers reach out to you. I do want to know that, because I will be honest, I don't reach out to second and third because I'm done. I'm tired. I don't really like to. But you know, if you're serious about your craft and this is something you love doing, and you know that the items were definitely, especially if you look and if you see that there were like 9 bids, that second and third definitely wants it. It wasn't. It was a hot item.
It was a hot. Yeah, I was gonna say that if you have an item and you have 3. You have the winner, the second, and the third. That is a hot item.
Yes, reach out.
You know, that second person that you reach out to may ask you for, hey, what else do you have? You know what? I've been looking for a particular item. Can you put me on your list? Hey, when is your next live? Hey, I want to join your email list. Do you have a group? Do you have a website?
So yes, a beautiful way to now create a loyal customer. So you've lost the ghost, or you gained a ghost, but now you gain a loyal customer that has completely and sufficiently wiped out the negativities of that ghost. And now all is well in the world again. Okay?
So how long is too long?
To reach out to what?
The second and third.
A week. I mean, you should be doing it within the next 48 hours, I would say. Yeah. It just depends. I mean, if you're sending an email to them, I think, you know, and I think Ms. Retta's idea was beautiful and brilliant, to be honest with you. If you send them a nice email, don't just send an invoice. Like,
some people do that. They just send the invoice.
Just reintroduce yourself. Hey, you shopped on my live. You won the black silk shirt as a size medium. The price is this. The person who won the item either passed on it or does not, or did not respond to me, and I'm offering it to you. So
I like what Ann said. Yes, I've said it before and I'll say it again. These lives have established some wonderful sisterhood for me. Celebrate the wins.
Yes. It's easy. Don't let these ghosts and Casper and his people get you down. You did an amazing job by selling out on the rest of your platform, the rest of your items. Don't let these 2 or 3 people make you feel like, oh, what am I doing wrong?
Thrifted Love. I love that question. The bot automatically made me a winner as second in line when the first person passed during the live. Is that not the norm? Yeah, so that happens. If the winner passes, you are automatically the winner.
The winner.
If you're second
in line.
But this is if they pass during
yes.
While the live is
And that's why we want people to pass during the live. That's the best practice, period. Okay. And so be patient. Life happens. Demonstrate empathy. Like sometimes you have to just be patient. And I know for most of you guys, for the real serious sellers out there, you guys are definitely going to be, you guys are already being patient. For most of you guys, you're being patient. But the newbies, I've noticed, will send me their list the next day. And I'm just like, okay. So what are we doing here? What are we doing here? So, you know, sometimes it's just about patience. I have normally, when I do a live, I give people, like, I go through and do what I need to do with those who are paying, get that out. And then a few days, 72 hours later, I cancel. And let me tell you, you hit cancel. Whoa.
Wait. I'm going to confess.
I'll be right there. I'll be right there. What are you going to do? Yeah, it's life. People have things going on, you know, have empathy, I would say.
That cancel invoice, that will get your attention. You're like, oh,
because you know why? They know when and then you could tell them in your lives, when you see that cancel, understand you are now a ghost. And you are now on the ban list.
You'll be window shopping from now on.
And let me tell you, they respond. They respond. And then the last thing we want you to do at the end of all of that is then you can contact admin. Now, Karen and I see this two different ways. In Thrifting Divas, I'm okay with you sending me the list. I'm not keeping a list. I'm telling you now, I don't have a list. What you do when you send me the list, I go immediately into the Thrifting Diva page and I literally just ban and mute the member. That's all I do. I go in and I ban them. Sometimes though, sometimes if I have some extra time, I will send a message to members saying, "Hey, you've been reported as a ghost, and I understand life gets in the way sometimes, or you may not have seen it. If you respond to the seller within the next 24 to 48 hours, I will not remove you from future lives." Now, let me explain to you guys. I'm only removing them from lives. That's why you end up still seeing them, right? Because I don't remove them from the community. Because, you know, everybody needs love.
Thanks, Diana.
Huh?
I like Diana.
Everybody needs love.
I'm not bothering admins about ghosts. Thanks, Diana. We have a lot of other things we want to do with our platforms and our sellers than to worry about the ghost. Now, a serial ghost, please, yes, they will be removed because we don't have time. We don't have time for that.
But that's how Karen does it on her thing. As I said, on Thrifting Divas, if you send me the list, I just go in and, you know, it's just a click of the button, banned from the diva, from the page itself, but I don't remove them from the group because I do think that, you know, maybe they could come back around and redeem themselves. They could contact me and explain the situation, which has happened in the past, right? Because sometimes, you know, you sellers, it might have been your fault.
And that's,
sometimes it really could be your fault. And I've seen that. And I've been the one burned in the middle because you sent an email to the wrong address and I pull up the information and you had the wrong address, have me looking like doo-doo the fool. And now the buyer is mad at me. So that's why I try to figure out the best way because I understand the pain of it. But we want you to try some things and some techniques first in order to get it.
You have my inbox. We could chat anytime. You have my. So what I do, if you have sold on the platform, you can message me with persons that have ghosted you before. Okay. As we've talked about, there are many reasons why a person may have not seen your invoice and may have not paid your invoice. So I don't think that it's fair for me to just, because you sent me your list that I just go in and just, do what you want me to do with these shoppers. There are different reasons. But if it's someone that you have seen on your list and they have ghosted you before, yes, that person will be banned. I reach out to them. I let them know that they have been identified as a ghoster. 99% of the time, oh, who was it? I'm going to pay that invoice right now. Who was it?
Too late.
Trust me, they do not want to be banned from the lives. Again, a lot of times they have genuinely not had the opportunity to pay the invoice because they're shopping so much. I mean, if they're a ghoster, that means they're shopping a lot. They're just not organized when they're shopping. That they're not keeping track of who they're shopping with.
Yes.
Please, we have to remember, it's still a pandemic going on. People are still at home. They probably don't have a lot of people coming to visit them. And your live is an outlet for them. They feel as though they are among friends. They're shopping. They're, laughing. You're entertaining them. And this, for some of them, it's just their way of connecting with a person. They probably haven't had a chance to be around other people. So again, let's keep all of that in mind before you automatically, give that person that title. Make sure you've done your due diligence. Email them, Facebook message them, and then when you've exhausted all of those options, then we can deal with that person.
Got it.
Ayanna and I, we do not have a list of, again, we have 30 lives a week. Imagine if every seller contacted me after every live with their list. I don't have the manpower or the time. The seller, you keep your list. You know who those persons are and you manage it. If it gets too much and it's a serial person, then I'll step in.
So Ms. Retta has a really good question. What about people that bid on a lot of items, then once they get the invoice, they want to take off all the items and they do it all the time?
Yeah, so again, they've communicated with you to let you know that they do want to, adjust their items. If it is all of the items, I'll keep that person on another list and just keep them. But if it's someone that's doing that often, that is someone that needs to be addressed, because that does happen. That's happened to me. Oh, I don't want to pay that because the shipping is one item. But I told you what my shipping is for one item.
Right.
I have my eye on you.
Yeah.
But we can't, it is a person's right to change their mind. People can change their mind. What if they can't afford it? Right? Because they've shopped so many lives, they can't afford the items at this time. Right? So keep all of those things in mind. At least they have communicated with you, and you just make a note. You make a note of that person. Right. We really can't control that one.
Now, Karen, as we close up, it's 10:40.
Oh my! Woo.
So we're gonna close up. Hopefully, let us know in the comments if this was valuable information. Like, was this value added to your wherever you could be right now in the internet, because nobody could be anywhere during was this value added to what you're already doing? But then secondly, we wanted to make sure that, at the end of the day, like, you may get ghost on certain things. We wanted, if you want to think about the positive, as Karen said, if you sold 67, let's say I'm a lawyer, I don't do public math. So you sold 50 items and 48 people paid, and those 48 pieces, and you had two ghosts that did not pay for those 2 items. I think that's a win. Mm-hmm. And celebrate that win. See what it is you could do differently next time, but celebrate the wins because you did fantastic. I mean, as Karen and I were talking about this before we came on, she said, hey, sometimes I see this as you're in the store and you putting all the things in your buggy. You walking down that aisle and you're like,
when you're in the thrift store, you're like, ooh, I'm getting all of this. The other person wanted the item, but you put it in your buggy because they were looking at it, right? And then what do you do? Ayanna, what they do?
And then as you in front of the people who hope that it's a sale, in front of the cashier, how many of you guys have done this while the cashier is ringing up and you're like, no, not that.
I don't want that. I don't want that.
No, I don't want that. Put that on the side. Let me see that again. No, I don't want that. And so this poor cashier or the owner of this store thought like, woo, I hit it.
Yes.
And then he walked out with 2 items.
But you know, that's not technically a ghost per se, but you communicated. But it's still the same feeling. It's still the same. It's still the same feeling.
Right.
Yeah, we're all guilty.
We are
of doing that.
So hopefully tonight, you know, maybe if you are listening to this and you've ghosted someone either on purpose or by accident, now I hope that this is a deterrence, that you realize that it's not nice. People don't like it. It's a lot of work that goes into setting up for a live. It's a lot of work that goes into the invoicing. And it's a lot. People are, you know, counting on the coins that come in, especially when you get that invoice. I mean, the spreadsheet, and it says 101 items claimed. And you're like, oh my God, you know, I'm going to be able to pay my, you know, my mortgage tonight, this, you know, whatever it is. So if you're listening to this and you have done this in the past, now it's 2021, WON. So let's not, please. But if you continue to do it, you know, you may want to find a different way of shopping, because this is just, you know, it's unfair. Okay.
Or get one of the systems that can block. It is worth the investment. It is worth, you know, research, do your research. But if you are ready to take your, if you're ready to take your business and, you know, save your time, if you're, you know, wanting to save your time, look at these different programs. A lot of them do offer a trial period, so you can see the difference. You'll be able to gauge if it's worth that investment.
Tracy, I don't have any DMs from you. So, okay. Well, thank you, lady.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much for joining us. I hope that this will help with.
That's for another life.
Okay. Karen. If you are interested in us doing more segments, let us know in the comments, and we will put together, you know, the information. We will research what we need to, put it in the comments, and we'll do it another time. But we can't get through everything, right? So if you have some stuff, you know, receiving clothes that smell like it was in the basement, yeah, you know, that's definitely not good. But we could talk about that in a different one. Thank you so much. People are talking about, they want to talk about packaging. It was very informative live. Thank you so much. Janice says, thanks for the information. We appreciate you coming through. And we hope that you've gotten some things that will absolutely be useful to you in your next live. And all these things can be applied in the very next live you do on any platform. This is not just about our platform. We want this to spread throughout the resale community, so that people on all platforms get to enjoy these experiences without having to deal with these things like that. We have people are saying
so many other topics on here, Ayana.
Yeah,
let's talk about live etiquette. Tania, I know where you're going.
You know what? There it goes. Our next segment, live etiquette. Because yes, we want to give people the Nordstrom experience with the Goodwill prices. Can I say that again? Listen, Nordstrom experience with the Goodwill prices.
Yeah.
Okay. So we will absolutely, I am absolutely doing, let's do this one, live etiquette. Because yes, there's some things that we can do better. And there's some woman out there that's killing the game. So we want everyone, once again, put it in the comment. Nordstrom experience with Goodwill prices.
You and your taglines, ma'am, just epic. That's a t-shirt.
People will remember it.
I love it. Nordstrom experience with the Goodwill prices.
Listen. So yes, we're doing
I wouldn't order if the background ain't right. Hey, those first 15 minutes, I'm scanning everything. I'm like, they got going on there.
We have a lot of topics here, and it will be a joy to do them. So we will be back. We just, we want to make sure in 2021 WON that everybody is at that level. We want if
they want to go there.
I think everybody should want to go there. But when we finally make it onto the big screen and they shout out Thrifting Divas and Thrifting Atlanta, and they, somebody pop into these groups and they're like, whoa, they have created the game. Shut it down. Shut it down. Okay. All right, ladies. I really do feel like I'm getting sick. So I'm gonna go off of here. I'm gonna go get I'm gonna get some tea, as most people have been saying. Thank you so much. I appreciate every supportive. You guys are always out there. When we do something, you're there. And we appreciate that we're not talking to ourselves, although Karen and I will talk to ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Debbie, yes. Give Debbie a shout out real quick.
Debbie.
She has a live tomorrow.
I ain't mad at you. Miss Debbie Norrell. And she's going to be on the Unbox Battle this Sunday.
Unbox Battle.
OG. The OG. Miss Debbie put us in our place the other day. We are the OG. So I'm excited about her and Jeannie.
I picked my face off the floor.
Like, what?
What? I've been doing this.
Y'all young people now getting into this game. Y'all just have the social media. We've been had this.
Right. Yes. Yes. Yeah.
All right. Trace, Ayana, you need some bear rum for your chest. My mother and her people are in here. Oh my God.
Oh God.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Thank you so much. Wonderful evening. Stay safe. Get your vaccine so we can have, right? Aren't we having, two of the major things that we're about to plan? Are we going to tell them one day?
One day.
But the big one is when we are able to meet in person. Oh my God. Yeah, we have some things coming up, like major. So make sure you get them COVID vaccines, because I will probably need that at the door.
Not just a temperature check.
Not a temp check. I need to know you had your COVID vaccine to come. But this was fun. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening. We're out. Karen, I'm ending broadcast. Peace out. Bye.
Bye.